not acknowledge that there are some systemic issues.
Give me an example. Tell me what you think the most systemic racist issue is. What is it?
Well, I would say that because black people in most cases, in many cases, were descendants of slaves, that racism as an institution, that it just, a certain amount of it just exists.
2015? Give me the most blatant racist example you can come up with right now.
I think you could probably find evidence that in general, cops are more willing to shoot if the perpetrator is black.
What's your data?
How is that? How can that be true when more white people get shot?
I know a lot of people would say, look what's going on in Chicago.
I know what they would say. I'm talking about what the facts are. 965 people were shot by cops last year and killed.
And more were white, guaranteed.
4% of them were white cops shooting unarmed blacks. In Chicago in 2011, 21 people were shot and killed by cops. In 2015, there were 7. In Chicago, which is a third black, a third white, and a third Hispanic, 70% of the homicides are black on black. About 40 per month, almost 500 per year last year in Chicago, and 75% of them are unsolved. Where is the Black Lives Matter on that? The idea that a racist white cop and shooting unarmed black people is a peril to black people is BS. It's complete and total BS. And the reason for these so-called activists saying this is the assumption that racism remains a major problem in America. The media, CNN, especially MSNBC, runs down whenever a black cop shoots somebody.
And no other case gets shown.
Some march on Washington. It's ridiculous. Black people, half the homicides in this country are committed by and against black people. Last year, there were 14,000 homicides. Not talking about suicides. I'm talking about homicides. Half of them were black. 96% of them black on black of that 7,000.
Crazy.
Where's the Black Lives Matter people on that?
So that,
bro, we are genociding ourselves and don't want to take accountability for that. Do you know how many times I've heard? That's honestly that right there is an argument that I never have with people, because even when I was liberal, I was like, how can I defend that? There's no way to defend that. Like, what can you do when, like, the response that people come out with when they say, well, that's because of redlining and moving us into the hood, and you put us in a small place and take away jobs and take away money and all this and da da da. That shit don't even make any sense, because cool, you're saying that you're fully aware of the reasons that it's happening. So once you become aware of that, shouldn't you be able to manipulate and control that now? Since you know that's what the reasoning is, now you take the steps to change it. But no, it just gets worse. It doesn't even make any fucking sense. It doesn't make any sense. Black on black crime is ridiculous. Ridiculous. But then when you say that, whenever they talk about why does Black Lives Matter only care about white cops killing black people or white people killing black people, why do they not care when black people kill black people? The response that comes out is always something super illogical and then anger. Every time, yelling, like trying to change the conversation in a different way. They never can actually give you a real answer for that. It's ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. If you, like, okay, when you say it's because of all these different things, institutional racism, fucking systemic racism, da-da-da-da, right? That is to assume that they're doing it in a way that you can't do anything about it. But you absolutely can. You absolutely can if you just stop your behavior. Don't pull a gun on another black person and kill him. That's simple. That is simple. That is simple. I don't want to hear it.
There's where you would say that this is purely because of social justice. This is purely because they want ultimately for people to be angry enough to just keep voting Democrat.
That's right. And where's the evidence of the lack of social justice? When a black suspect is killed by a cop, believe me, the media is on it. People are watching it, and justice will, for the most part, occur. In Baltimore, where Freddie Gray was killed, Freddie Gray died in a van. I shouldn't say was killed. Died in a van. Yeah. You have a city that's 45% black. City council is 100% Democrat. The majority of city council is black. The top cop at the time was black. The number 2 cop was black. The majority of the command staff is black. The mayor is black. The AG is black. And yet here we are talking about racism. I mean, it's absurd.
Yeah. Absurd. So it's funny. I find
you want
myself
everything
caught
black.
in between this a little bit as a liberal, where I want to always try to defend the other. So in this case, the other being black people, I'm always sympathetic to that. And that, at the same time, I
was just thinking, I want to say this too. I've been poor my whole life, right? I've been beyond poor my entire life, like no food to eat for weeks at a time, evicted, homeless, all these type of shits, right? For a majority of my life, right? And still never became a criminal, like a criminal who's gonna go rob a store, rob my fellow person, fucking get so entrenched in trying to get money that I'm killing people and doing, like, I've never ever went that route because I was poor and had nothing. That's never been the way I moved. So don't tell me that is why that's happening. I understand the exception is not the rule, but I know for a fact that there's a lot of black people like me. I know a lot of other black people who are just like me, that just do what they're trying to do, supposed to do. And then you know what ends up happening is something good. Like that person ends up turning into something. Something ends up happening. You know what I'm saying? They took their life serious and then they start flourishing. Literally. It takes some time sometimes. Sometimes, like, it's hard. The main thing about I think is fucked up, is that we teach our kids to be victims too. So it's like they have to break. If your kid can't break that, then it turns into turn to gangs and all this shit. If your kid cannot break the victim mentality, you're setting them up for failure. You are setting them up for failure. You know how much easier it would be to not, like, imagine if when you felt like a victim, you didn't sit there and blame someone else and you actually, like, did something about it legally. You went to go make sure you could change that. It's very simple, like, changing of thoughts. All you do is just change your mind. That's it. Don't do anything that's gonna fuck your shit up. That's it. But people always want it easier, want it quicker, and like get it. I don't even. It's such a crazy like thing to even defend. To be honest, I don't understand anyone who could defend it. I don't.
Hear you laying out a pretty solid case.
These are just the facts. I'll tell you something else too. There was just a study, University of Washington. And it turns out cops were more reluctant, more hesitant to pull the trigger against a black suspect than a white suspect.
Because they don't want
probably because of the fear
uproar.
of being accused of racially profiling and the fear that the civil rights establishment was going to come down on them.
Don't even want to defend themselves when they need to, because they're afraid of the backlash of defending themselves. That's crazy.
If anything, whites are more likely to be shot by a cop under certain circumstances than a black person. And in the last 30 or 40 years, the percentage of suspects killed by cops who are black has declined 75%. However,
because of the
whites killed by cops,
the white kill.
So if anything, people are more concerned about shooting black people for fear that they're going to be called racist. And almost every one of these incidents, whether it's Eric Gardner in New York, who died because he was selling Lucy's and resisted arrest, whether it's Tamir Rice in Cleveland,
no
who
accountability
around the gun, whether it's Michael Brown in Ferguson, who had just committed a strong arm robbery, almost every one of these incidents involved somebody resisting arrest.
Yep.
Why don't you just do what the police tell you? My dad said, when I get pulled over, have my hand at 10 o'clock, have my hand at 2 o'clock, say yes, sir, say no, sir, make sure my paperwork is in order, and if I feel the cop is mistreating me, get a badge number and deal with it later on.
Much more simple. So much more simple. Imagine if you did what you were supposed to and then fought it the way you're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Imagine that, but no. You're too much of a victim. You have to fight against, or else it's gonna be oppression and all this. Like it doesn't even make any sense, because there's injustices from everybody, and I think the majority of like when it comes to like a crooked cop doing something to a person to a citizen, most of the time I don't think it has anything to do with race and everything to do with abuse of power. Crooked cop is a crooked cop is a crooked cop. Has nothing, like, maybe some of them are racist, maybe some of them are. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this was like 40 years ago, okay, maybe a lot of them are racist, but this is, bro, the cops right now grew up with me. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to convince me that there's, like, you're not going to convince me that everyone walking around is just racist. You're not going to. It's not going to happen. I know these people. And I even know some of the cops in my home state. I know these people. Went to school with these people. You're not going to convince me this. So imagine if you just did what you're supposed to do and then complain the right way. It would just be what it is, you know? You're not like the crooked cops today are just because they're crooked. Most of them. But hey, I'm not going to say that all of them aren't racist. I'm not going to say that there's no racist ones. I just don't think it's a majority. I don't even think it's half. I don't even think it's half, to be honest. I really, really don't.
Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton
probably not even a quarter.
And Obama and the whole group of them told black people to
Peace
do
out,
that,
shoot.
we'd have a lot fewer of these things to deal with in the first place.
Yeah. All right. So I'm with you. I'm hearing a lot of what you're saying here. So as a black conservative, then, who now you've laid out your case there.
But you haven't laid out yours. I asked you to name the most important example of racism, and you gave white cops going after black people. And I told you, gave you the facts for that.
He killed that.
Nonsense.
Yo, he killed that. But you haven't laid out yours. Nice try. Nice fucking try.
Something else. What else is it? If you think racism remains a problem in America, give it to me.
Well, I think it remains a problem.
Give it to me.
It may not be systemic in that it's not like you're not being hired because you're black. There's no systemic reason, legal reason that exists, that kind of thing. But I think that racism as a general theory
I need
exists.
some specifics.
Exactly.
You gave me the white cop thing. What else? Give me another example.
Bro, that's another thing that I always see happen. I don't have all the statistics. Like you're trying to make me look stupid. You come with all these statistics prepared. You know I'm not gonna have the statistics. Like, no, then don't speak on it. Don't speak on it unless you have the fucking knowledge. That is the problem. That is the fucking problem with today. Everyone's just saying things with no type of fucking facts at all. Not even like hearing the facts from someone else who said it. They just be saying shit off of emotion. Like, I feel like this. I feel like this. Bro, you better get those facts, because there's people walking around here getting these facts. There's people around here getting these stats to go against you. If you really care about the thing that you're fighting for, wouldn't you find a way? Imagine if you could speak to someone and convince them, rather than protesting and burning down a city. Imagine if you could speak to them and convince them. That would be crazy, right? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Example where you think it's a problem.
Well, as a black conservative, tell me how do you get people to come around?
You're the one who made the assertion that you think racism remains a major problem in America. I asked you to give me an example. You gave me white cops going after blacks. As far as I'm concerned, you didn't hold it up very well. What's the other argument you have? What's the other thing?
Well, I don't know that it's systemic in the.
He does look like he's trying not to laugh. Nah, yeah, who said that? Who said he looks like he's trying not to laugh? Because he does look like he's trying not to laugh the whole time, bro. He knows he's just wiping the floor with him. He knows. That's hilarious. Like, I like these. Wait, so hold on. At this time, was David Rubin a Democrat? Was he liberal at this time? Or is he just doing like devil's advocate like Steven Crowder does? Because this is like, if he's not serious, then that it's funny. But if he is serious, he's just getting the floor wiped with himself. That's coming with them. He's just wiping the floor with him. He was liberal at the time. Holy shit! Yo, I thought this was a fucking. Yo, he's serious. He's serious with these points. Oh my god. Yo. I thought he was just using points that liberals make for this. Yo, that's wild. This is real. This is real right now. Yo, that's even better. That's, fire. That is fire. I had no idea. I thought that this was like a devil's advocate when Steven Crowder dresses up like the French dude and I'm pro-communism. You know, Steven Crowder, he's funny, but I thought that's what this was. I thought this was just another version of that. That's hilarious. This dude is dead serious, and Larry out there is wiping the floor with them. Holy shit.
Mad. I just want to know what it is you're talking
about. Oh, that's even better.
That's exactly what. Believe me, that's 100%.
That's even better.
Blacks are not getting into school. BS. We have a race. We have affirmative action. So a black person with an SAT and a GPA of X will get into a school faster and easier than a white person with an SAT or a GPA of X. And if going to school is so many things. Class,
there's so many things that are put there that like imagine what it takes to get someone to make a law in favor of you, like getting a leg up. Imagine that. A law gets changed to get you a leg up, and you still are making excuses. Like, affirmative action is crazy, bro. That is a crazy thing. But it is a real thing, and still complaining. Bro, when does accountability get taken? When do you take accountability? When? Yep, I'll link it to you. I got you. When does accountability get taken for your own actions? Crazy. It like, yo, that's them trying to make it right. Affirmative action is them trying to make it right a bit, but they know you can't just give a race a leg up because that is racist. Like they made a mistake when they had white people in as superior, but yo, the way that if white people were really racist, would they give up that much power? Because I feel that it is, yo, I see white people struggle, I see black people struggle, I see what I've seen growing up. I've seen white people go through similar shit to me my entire life. Again, maybe it's because I'm from New Hampshire, but it's real. I've witnessed it, so I know what I see. You cannot convince me. You can't. You really, really can't. Hold on. I'll pin that. If white people were actually racist, it's the same argument that I have when people are like the patriarchy. If it was really that, would we give up power? Would men give up power if we had all that power? That does not make any sense. If we were that pieces of shit, we're not giving up the power because we gave ourselves the power. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. And that's the same thing with America and white supremacy that white people always complain about. I mean, that black people always... Well, white people now, too, be complaining about it. That's the craziest thing. White people be marching right with... Look at fucking Kyle's case. Crazy, bro. Crazy. This shit is out of control, man. It's getting out of control. People are just... It's too much shit. People expect permanent changes and permanent, like, fixes to their temporary emotional issues. Like, all you have to do is just add a little bit of logic, and you'll be like, oh, okay, no, let me calm down a little bit. Just like take the ego out of it for a second.
You can make an argument that blacks have an easier route to the middle class.
Facts.
If you're talking about blacks about poverty,
and then not using that, that's just like I'm saying. That's just like I was saying. It shows that you're not even taking the steps to be better. That's the thing. When they're putting the things there, shouldn't they be used? Like, if they give you that opportunity, shouldn't that lane, they open up a lane, shouldn't that lane be fucking congested rather than no one being in it? Like the affirmative action lane, shouldn't that be a congested lane? But it's not. It's not. Black people ain't even going. Black people ain't even trying to get there. A lot of black people ain't even trying to do that. They're just it's too easy to be a victim. And I'm not even trying to, like, it just becomes sad. I'm just so sick of seeing, like, the riots, complaints, and it really is just sad to me, bro. It really is sad, because I just feel like I'm speaking from a logical mind state. I'm speaking from a logical place in my brain, in my mind. But then I have people commenting on my Facebook trying to act like I'm trying to pander to a demographic. What does that even? I just feel how I feel, my mans. It just doesn't. I just don't even get it. I can't even think logically. I can't even speak logically without someone trying to say that I'm trying to pander. That is the type of shit that will keep us. That's why we're still in the position we're in. That's why. That's the exact shit right there. I'm literally trying to say what I think is right, and then you want to tell me you're just trying to pander. You're trying to, like, what are you trying to make me doubt myself? Oh, do I hate black people because I think that everyone should have accountability for their actions and move forward and try to do better? Do I hate black people for that? And I'm black. Like, how can I fucking hate black people if I'm black? What do you, like, it just doesn't even make sense. Black family. Like, I'm black. My mother and father are black. It doesn't even make any fucking sense. It doesn't. Yet, that's the type of shit. That's the type of shit. How much of a victim do you have to be to think that anybody who thinks, I think this is progressive thinking. You know what I'm saying? Anyone who thinks progressively really is Uncle Tom. Self-hating, self-loathing black man, because being black and proud means that I have to be on the victim bandwagon. We're all victims. We're all victims, and everybody hates us and is trying to keep us down. That's what it is, right? That's why I have 240 people in my chat, because people are racist and hate my skin color. Like, it doesn't matter what the fuck I'm saying, because if you were really racist, you would just not fuck with me because of my skin color. They wouldn't, like. Would y'all be supporting me, getting me a platform? Because imagine if I was pandering. If I was pandering, like, you think people wouldn't know that and then not support me? You think it doesn't even make any sense to take the chance to build my platform up and then have me change my motherfucking change my face and be like, nope, I meant this. To take that chance, you can't be racist. Like, you're not even gonna take that chance. You're not going to if you're a racist. You don't want to see me do well if you're a racist, because racism is really white people trying to stop black people from moving forward. You know, like, systematic racism is you trying to stop me from getting money. You trying to stop me from getting ahead, period. That's what actual racism is. This is by definition the opposite. It doesn't even make any sense, bro. It doesn't make any sense. No, I'm not black. I'm not black, guy drummer. I'm not.
Pretty. The poorer you are, the more accessible loans and grants are for you. The problem, the biggest burden that black people have, in my opinion, again, is the percentage of blacks, 75% of them, that are raised without fathers. And that has every other social negative consequence connected to it. Crime, not being able to compete economically in the country, being more likely to be arrested. That's the #1 problem facing the black community. And when I hear people tell me about systemic racism or unconscious racism, I always say, give me an example, and almost nobody can do it.
So, every time. The family stuff. So I'll follow your logic there on the family stuff.
Flawed logic is sound logic. That's the idea. That's the idea.
Reverse the welfare state.
That's the idea.
In 1890, 1900, you look at census reports. A black kid, believe it or not, was slightly more likely to be born to a nuclear intact family than a white kid. Even during slavery, a black kid was more likely to be born under a roof with his biological mother and biological father than today. What's happened is we launched this so-called war on poverty in the 60s, where literally Lyndon Johnson sent people knocking on doors. I lived in the 60s, and people knocked on doors apprising women of their availability to welfare, provided there was no man in the house. And we went from 25% of blacks being born outside of wedlock in 65 to 75% right now. And you look at how much money that we spent on welfare, and the lines are parallel. It was a neutron bomb dropped on this country, not just on the black community, but on people in general.
This man is preaching, bro. This man is preaching. One more time. Hold up. Let's run that back one more time. Let's run back like 30 seconds, because he just dropped. Yo, that was crazy.
Family than a white kid. A black kid, believe it or not, was slightly more likely to be born to a nuclear intact family than a white kid. Even during slavery, a black kid was more likely to be born under a roof with his biological mother and biological father than today. What's happened is we launched this so-called war on poverty in the 60s, where literally Lyndon Johnson sent people knocking on doors. I lived in the 60s, and people knocked on doors apprising women of their availability to welfare, provided there was no man in the house. And we went from 25% of blacks being born outside of wedlock in 65 to 75% right now. And you look at how much money that we spent on welfare, and the lines are parallel.
Oh my
It was a neutron bomb dropped on this country, not just on the black community, but on people in general. At one time, only about 5% of whites were born outside of wedlock. Now, 25% of whites are born outside of wedlock. I was in college in 1970, and there was a report called the Moynihan Report, The Negro Family, A Case for National Action. It's written by a liberal, by a man who became a Democratic senator from New York. And at the time, 25% of black kids were born outside of wedlock.
He got so much knowledge in there, bro.
This number is horrific. If we don't do something about it, it could get even higher. Well, fast forward, 25% of white kids are now born outside of wedlock. It is the #1 problem in this country, and what we've done, in my opinion, is we've economically incentivized women to marry the government, and we've allowed men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility, and now we have this.
Yo, that's how he ended it? Yo, mic drop. Hold on, bro. This nigga's wildin', bro. He's wildin'. He's wildin'. That was too much. That was too much, bro. That was too much. This man, yo. Oh my God, that was like bow, 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 bow. Yo, I've never seen a Larry Elder video in my life. Never ever. That's my first time ever seeing a Larry Elder video ever. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. I give that a 5 out of 5 flawed heads. That's a 5 out of 5 flawed heads right there. Oh my God. This dude. That was amazing. That was amazing. I love that. I love that. I love every minute of that. The left calls Larry Elder racist. Yo, that's racist, terrorist, commie, you know? Like, there's just all these words, bro. All these words that they use to just, like, chop off anything you have to say at the legs. No matter what it is, no matter how logical it is, no matter what. Racist is the word right now. Just chop. Nope. Now nothing you say matters because we make logic line up with racism. Logic lines up perfectly with racism now. If you have logical thoughts, they have really made it become racism. It's crazy, bro. Crazy. Crazy. Every black person needs to see that, bro. Every black person needs to see that. Holy shit. Shout out Larry Elder, bro.
Make it easier for me to go to sleep at night. I had a dream that I could do my thing, and everywhere I went the people knew my name. Some people hated on the truth I bring, but now I use the hating just to fuel my plane. I had a dream that I could do my thing, and everywhere I went the people knew my name. Some people hated on the truth I bring, but now I use the hating just to fuel my plane.